Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to 1 Million Minds. How are you, Balaji?
Hey, Rajni. I'm doing great. It's finally getting warmer, so I'm excited to like the weekend.
All right. Texas is getting some rain, so I can't complain. But I know we have a very interesting episode because it's like a follow-up to the last week episode. I'm excited about talking about it. Just to set the stage for the audiences, we released an last episode where my family didn't find out, but most other folks were able to find out it was a AI avatar of us talking. So we want to go into a little bit of the backstory, why it happened, and how did we create it. So many lessons learned and so many cool things and so many things to look for in the future. So saying that, I'll hand it off to you to give us a little bit of background, what happened, and then let's get into it. This is fun.
Yeah, absolutely, Rajni. I'm surprised someone in your family immediately noticed by looking at your particular image, because I thought yours came out way better than mine. So yeah, I mean, we've been doing this for what, like 40 episodes every 2 weeks. We have been doing this for a long time, and we hit a snag. And the recording last time had audio perfect, and it had perfect transcript, timestamps, everything, but the video is corrupted. It's all freeze and go. It was not useful, right? And obviously, we're looking at that, like I was very upset, and I was trying to figure out how to recover out of it. And then thought maybe we use AI to get this actually recovered, and spent a couple of hours trying to figure out what tools to use. We have actually evaluated a lot of these tools. If you remember, the Synthesia or Hagen, DID, we did all that. And I kind of shortlisted based on the price and performance type of thing, and settled on Hagen. And then I passed it along to you, and I want to hear what your experience was, because they had this good process of getting consent before getting your avatar done with a 2-minute video clip. So let's hear from you. What was your experience?
So before we jump into the Hagen, just in the overall context, right, just to understand this, what we were trying to do is just to recap what you said, we didn't have our video, we had the transcript. Instead of reshooting the whole thing, we said, we have so many tools we've demoed, let's use one of them, right? So that was the exciting part. And then we've talked about a lot of these deep fakes. How do people use someone else's face for bad marketing, political things, whatever it is? So we said, okay, there's a bad part to it, but there's a good part. And I think that's where the agent process fell into for me, because for you to use my avatar, I had to give permission. So there was a video recording. I had to do a specific passcode I had to say so that they know it was me. And then they created an avatar that you could use to replace our video. So I think the entire process is great. If all companies follow this, that'd be amazing. I'm pretty sure not all of them are going to be this stringent about it. So I think that's where some things can go a little crazy. But what we did with Agent was amazing how we created it. So I'd love to talk a little bit more about how you got there, what you did. So that'll be great.
Yeah, absolutely. And then a little testing also with their consent and policies, right? I tried to provide my consent for your video just to see what the system does. And it came out clean. It just rejected it. It had image matching kind of algorithm in there. So that was good. So let's get into it. So the whole process goes like this. I'll just summarize, right? So the attempt is to recreate our entire podcast just from audio and transcript and timestamps, right? So to do that, first I needed to get the video. I got a 2-minute clip of you and a 2-minute clip of me. And then this is, I'm sharing my screen. And this is basically the, what do you call the Hagen avatar interface. So typically, you go in here, and I have 2 avatars which are created with consent, one with mine and one with yours. This is basically, I'm just going to play, basically me reading some stuff, right? Hey, Balaji Lakshmanan, your instant avatar is ready. Try creating videos with it. Also, click the feedback button to share what you think. Hope you enjoy. Right, that's fun. That's why they created it.
It is so
cool. That was fun hearing yourself, right?
Hey, Rajnikant J. Paul, your instant avatar is ready. Try creating videos with it. Also, click the feedback button to share what you think. Hope you enjoy. roving eyes, but it's pretty cool though. I mean, we know it's not real, but but as soon as my family saw this, they had a very adverse reaction to it. I have to say the story just because I think it'll happen, right? Everybody's better to be careful. I showed them this 2-minute clip and I actually showed the video you put together. The first thing they said is, we need a family password. Just like Hagen had a password, we need a family password because you can't trust anybody. They've already seen me do ElevenLabs for my audio and they're like, oh my God, it sounds just like you. Now they have a person talking just like me, but wasn't me. They're like, okay, next time I get a phone call, a video call from you, I'm going to ask you for a password, and we've agreed on a password. That was the only way I can understand you are really you before we act on. You could be dying if you don't give me a passport, we're not helping you. So
This reminds me of Tamil movies. They have thought of this way long time ago, right? There used to be a family song. If you know the family song, brothers and sisters can get together from any part of the world. Do you remember? Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
I don't know what movie. They'll be in different parts of the world, and when they sing the song, they'll know it's brother and sister.
Oh yeah, I know you, yeah. The song was their long passport, so that's awesome. Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
It's bottom line is I think it sounds like you need to have like a phrase or numbers or something to identify even your own family or friends, just because it's getting crazy. It's cool, but it's good. You have to be careful. That's all.
Gotcha. Now I'm going to go into the studio. Now I took that 2-minute clip and created 2 separate idle clips, right? Basically, idle clips are removing the audio from it and basically just arrest the lip movement from your original avatar, right? So I'll play sample. So I'll explain later why we need the silent clip. It's the idle clip. Basically, you're just bobbing your head and saying nothing, right? If you remember what you're doing your stuff and you're reading actually, but then now it arrested your mouth is not moving. It's almost like it's stitched. Right? And then I created basically one for you and one for me by going into basically your. I created a script, I think here. So the process involves dragging your avatar into the studio and then copy pasting every portion of your transcript from the original audio. Right, whenever you spoke, whatever you said, I chose your avatar, I copy pasted, then introduced a 3-second pause, did that, and I did that for entire 16 minutes of your talk track. Right, so everything from the actual transcript. And I introduced this 3-second pause so that you can easily identify gaps because it's going to be silence in the whatever media editor you use.
Yeah, it will be helpful in your post-production.
Correct. So I did that, and I did that for my video. So eventually I ended up with 2 videos, one for you, one for me. It looks like you talked double time. I only spoke 7 minutes. You spoke 16 minutes.
You put that. Give me more time to talk. It's only talk right over you.
Right. So this is basically so now we have assets that are building up to recreate the video. So we have, just to remind you, we had 2 idle videos of you and me for 2 minutes. And then I have 2 separate clips of you talking with avatar, with whatever we actually spoke in the episode, right? And out of the transcript. So now we have 4 pieces of video that we are going to use to try recreate, right? To do that, next, I need software. I use a multimedia editor called Shotcut. But again, you can use any other multimedia, any really, but Shotcut, yeah. Okay. So essentially, it looks like that, and then you have to drag your
Videos in. Okay.
Drag your videos in. So I'll pull your long form video in there, right? So essentially it looks like that, and then you have to drag your videos in. So I'll pull your long form video in there. Okay. So this is your long form video. And then once you drag it as a track, now you can clearly see where the gaps are in the audio track so they can actually separate. So it's going to be you talking. It's like a monologue video of me with a 3-second gap. So what I do next is I go identify the empty spaces in the audio waveform and I cut it, right? And then I cut it. So I have individual pieces of you talking. Now, why do I do that? Because those are the places that I want to insert me. Because we alternate in this podcast. There's a screen and there's something else coming into play on your silence. So I chop it up into these pieces and then basically introduce your idle video there.
You can just like take my video off focus and show yours. You have to show both, and when you're talking, you need to make sure I have something idle going on. So that's what we.
So what it's going to look like is I'm just replacing those 3-second pauses with your video because I have a 2-minute video of you idle. So none of our stretches, because we've been doing this for a while, none of our talk segments are 2 minutes or longer. That's the assumption. So I take a 2-minute and then I look at the transcript. So essentially what will happen is you will talk and then you will bob your head for 30 seconds. You'll talk and you'll bob your head for 1 minute. So you create these videos. And now we are creating 2 more videos, which are exactly 30 minutes each. Except these are still monologues. It's still you talking and you bobbing your head. And it's going to be me talking and me bobbing my head. This is needed because we are composing a 2-person view. And I'll show how this is useful. Any other questions?
You did it, but I'm sure there's still going to be where some of the things you do. After links, pauses, and interviewing in a conversation, it's going to get better. But right now, just you being able to do this is great. But hopefully, this process will get even more easier for you to do, because we've come a long way in 6 months, right? 6 months ago, when we did this, it was I would consider like a level 1. We already at level 2 or 3. A year from now, I think just a transcript. And again, we could just have an avatar stock, and we get a third person in here, like maybe an expert who's given us the avatar, or make it public, and we can all have a conversation, or humans having conversations, avatars. I see the possibilities are endless with this. So it's cool that you were able to take advantage of one of the mishaps and, use it as a learning experience, and we're teaching the audience that this is brilliant.
Absolutely. So the last and final step is to recompose the scene. For that, we use Studio Bit to do our podcast. So I brought it up, and then I go add share the media clips that I created for 30 minutes each. So let's take Rajni in here. Then I added the media clip of Rajni. Then I add media clip of apology, and then essentially I create our view, and then I put the same background that we used in this case, right? So I just recreate, and then usually you're on the left, and then basically I click play on both, and you can see that
what
we got first,
Howard,
because I time synchronized. There was a modifier. It is dot first, and then I'll dot.
It is like we talked about every week, right? Everything's moving at breakneck speed. And this is just what happened this week. Microsoft releasing a VASA 1 model, which could make any static image talk and sing. And that was just, I can't help but laugh when I saw that. But it's, we've shown demos of what we've done. The same thing.
So that's basically it, right? So, and then now they're going to alternate each other like we were talking or jibber-jabbering in the podcast. So, and then I just go over it. And that's basically the process that I followed. So, and the end result is what we shared last week. And I'm sure we'll share another clip of all the bloopers. We can talk about it.
Because, yes, it wasn't an easy process, I understand. It took you like 4 hours to recreate it. But the good news is, right, let's just talk about a little bit of the use case. A lot of creators have done this before. They have forgot to hit record. They have the whole transcript. Some people actually use transcript where you can see it, and so that way they can talk to the camera. But imagine doing that and you forgot to hit record. If you had an avatar and you have the transcript and you have especially single person talking, you can put in there and have your avatar create. That's if you make a mistake. But if you kind of build that on that, what if you are someone who can't take videos every day, but you have transcript, you have avatar ready, you've got the emotions right, and you got the hands right, you feel good about it, then you can release clips every day without you actually recording, and this whole process is going to get better. right? So that's what's exciting. That's a one-person show. But then if you have a dialogue and you want to interview, let's say Elon Musk or Bill Gates, and they have an avatar that's available, which is trained to talk just like them and has a background, a model behind it, which includes all of the conversation. Now, you and me in real life can have a conversation. Our avatars can have a conversation. It blows my mind things that are possible that look real but won't be. But we will be using for the good things. But it just there's so many options. If you go down the path of the OnlyFans, they could be artists who could be using their avatar to talk to 1,000 people, 1,000,000 people at the same time. So even if they know it's an avatar, it almost feels like they're talking to the person right now. And so text only, where somebody in Philippines is responding to them, talking to the avatar, even though it's fake, I think it'll give them an even better experience about talking to their favorite person. So I think this is going to revolutionize just content creation and communication. So that's exciting.
Yeah, a couple of things I wanted to note, Rajni. I think we have been in this journey for a very long time, right? Earlier, we were able to animate a photo, then we were able to animate a person. Now, why I'm excited is that now you can take the same concept and now you're doing it to a collaborative. Now, there's more than one person with tools that I've shown in this particular episode. We can mix and match, right? It can be two real people and one avatar or all avatars. So now it's become much more collaborative, and maybe you can even create a panel that talk to each other and debate or do whatever, right? It's the possibilities you have to imagine, right? And we talk about this offline as well, right? How can you animate the avatar by sending text or typing it in, right? So it's kind of not real time, but you're feeding information real time, what it should say. All of these are going to become real. And last but not least, I think the pro, I was able to record the podcast. The con is that emotions are missing. The actual body language is missing, right? These are still very crucial for human social connections, right? So that's still, I'm eager to say.
You're absolutely right. The emotions were missing, but 2 episodes ago, we shared something where based on the text, I think it was Synthesia, based on the text, it will go into a happy, sad, just different emotions. So I know the market is moving that way. So if you don't have to put tags, just like you said, a pause, we can put tags there. Make this sentence happy, make this sentence sad, make this sentence frustrated. If we can read the text and understand emotion, boy, we're in touch as well as it's going to be epic.
No, think about it. I think it took almost a year for Synthesia to come up with basic expression. We did another episode with Hume.ai, if you recall. They were doing like 2 dozen emotions, two dozen or more, right? It's not just happy, sad, and smiling type of thing. They were doing all subtle nuances, and I think research is still underway. You have to combine text, you have to combine audio tones, and you have to combine actually audio tone as information on your emotion too, right? And then your facial expression. All 3 actually will make it look real. And we're starting somewhere.
So once we get that one side, so let's say it's a one-way communication because you're just talking, like interacting. I can only text, but you talk to me. But at some point, your camera is going to pick up your emotions, the receiver's emotions, right? If it's we are having a one-on-one conversation with an avatar, and if your camera picks up that you're sad or puzzled, and the avatar stops and say, what I said, did it not make sense? How cool would that be? And I don't think we're too far away from that. I think it's going to be, I'm excited.